Jess, I want you to read the question written here under the heading Monza. Because I don't want to read it because I don't know. I want to hear you read this.
I'll read it. I'll read it because I asked Spanners this in person a week
Mm-hmm.
ago. He
Yay.
happened to be in Miami on a layover, and that's when this whole crazy idea of having him back on the show took place in my brain. And the question I asked him was, Spanners, was Red Bull cheating the entire year until the Dutch GP? And I think there's maybe more evidence to support some more smoke after this past weekend at Monza.
So basically, to get on this show, I have to fly to Miami, have
Yes.
Mhm.
tacos with you, and then I can come back. Well, I think this is, feel free to interrupt me at any point, because I think this could turn out to be like a bit of a rant, but the evidence is really racking up. And so I think before Zandvoort, there was the Red Bull accounts and Red Bull employees even coming out and saying, if you think that there's anything fishy going on, you're a witch, you're an outcast, you should have your leg chopped off. But now, I think after these last two races, it is fairly reasonable to go, something drastic has happened. Like, we can agree on that. Something, whether it's the brake thingy, something has definitely happened.
So let's kind of talk through the conspiracy a little bit. We talked about it last week and a little bit maybe the week before, but there's maybe people that think that Checo has just been racing in a different car this entire time, and that maybe is why Max
Mm-hmm.
has not Max has now like fallen down to kind of meet where Checo is at, and it's not just like Max is in the best car ever and Checo stinks all of a sudden. There's maybe some more like evidence that different cars, Max has had this little thingy on it, whatever it was, and you could probably
Mhm.
describe it better than me with all of your engineering technical terms. But now they have gotten this not technical directive, but this rules technical clarification thingy during the summer break.
Specific rule change.
Very specific rule change. And now Max is coming back down to where Checo's been at. And that is not the driver finishing the races 20 seconds faster than everyone else. That's like a solidly, second or third, maybe fourth level car.
They called us mad, didn't they? They called us mad.
Mhm.
They said you're crazy. But look, I've been really consistent on this, because when you watch a driver for their whole career and then they suddenly just look like a mug, like Perez has looked the last 8 to 10 races, probably, with Miami onwards, you go, there's something not right. And I've said, I'm waiting for the book. I'm waiting for the story to come out, because clearly something's happened. And the huge giveaway in the post-race interview was Perez saying, I've been struggling with this issue for the last 8 to 10 races. And all of a sudden, Verstappen is struggling from the same thing as well. And that is a much better explanation to me than Perez just completely forgot to know how to drive. I think nobody's claiming that Perez is going to beat Verstappen week in, week out. But you'd think, like in 2022, 2023, he'd nick the odd race. Whereas in the last 8 to 10 races, he's been a class behind. So almost what you would expect if he was almost like the guinea pig going forward to comply with whatever the new rules would be or whatever's been found out. And then 8 to 10 races later, Verstappen is also catching up. There is precedence for this and doing things this way. So the FIA will often, issue a technical directive or respond to a technical directive and give the teams kind of time. They go, I see what you've been doing there. All right, there's a technical directive and we're going to inspect it after the summer break, which is exactly what happened last season when it came to 2 technical directives with the front wing and the floor. And I was sat in a pub over the summer, and I don't know if we're supposed to read or have access to technical directives, but I was in a pub and this person made me read it and said, don't tell anyone that I let you read it. And I'm pretty sure I gave away who it was. So I am sorry to that person. But, it was very clear. It was like, right, we've identified these issues. One was with the front wing, one was with the floor. And then you get to after the summer break and there's one team really, really struggling consistently since then. And then there was one team that had one race with a bit of an issue with the floor and then was able to sort it out. So I don't know, like maybe they had a bit of a heads up, experimented on Perez, and then, it finally got to deadline time and they haven't been able to get their head around it. But Perez says, we know what the issue is. Horner says, we have no idea what the issue is. One of those is a lie.